can remember when I was a kid, one of the things we would do as a family during the summer for vacation was go camping. We'd go to one of the many state parks. Hickory Run State Park up in the Poconos was one of my favorite. But almost always we would go for a walk or a hike, depending on. Most of the time it was just us walking around the loop, looking at other people's campsites and how much tarps they put up and what neat setups people had. And sometimes we would go in the woods and walk down a trail or around the lake or something, and it was always a good time. Dad would usually be up front, leading the way, leading the charge, navigating, knowing which way to go. Mom had a super important role. She had this fanny pack. It was a pink fanny pack that she would wear, and she would put Twizzlers in there for us to snack on while we ate. And I couldn't say the L's right, so I call them Twizners. We still call them that to this day. And the kids, we were just along to have fun, and really the whole point of it was for us to burn off energy. But the whole thing is, we were one family, one unit, the Wiedemann family, going on this hike and this walk. And that's kind of the analogy of how I'm thinking about what we're looking at, this apest, the permanent revolution. I'd actually like to read from Ephesians 4 in the Message. Eugene Peterson talks about this walking on the same road kind of thing. Actually, let me just read it for us. We'll talk about it in just a moment. You were all called to travel on the same road and in the same direction. So stay together, both outwardly and inwardly. You have one master, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who rules over all, works through all, and is present in all. Everything you are and think and do is permeated with oneness, and that oneness is capitalized because God is the thing that is drawing us all together. Just like when we were walking at the campground, it was because we were a family. And essentially, we are the same thing. We are family because God has called us. He told us to stay together because it's good for us. And we all have these pieces to play. And he goes on to talk about that. He calls it a gift. He says, he handed out gifts above and below, filled heaven with his gifts, filled earth with his gifts. He handed out gifts of apostle, prophet, evangelist, and pastor, teacher, or we're saying shepherd and teacher, to train Christ's followers in skilled servant work, working within Christ's body, the church, until we're all moving rhythmically and easily with each other, efficient and graceful in response to God's Son, fully mature adults, fully developed within and without, fully alive like Christ. So God has given us these gifts so that we can be this one unit able to work together. It says moving rhythmically. I love that nature because I love music and how that all works. But that's what we're talking about, these gifts of apostle, prophet, evangelist, shepherd, teacher. He keeps us in step with one another because, well, we each have one of these roles to play. Now, he was a perfect example of all of them, but like the example of the prism and the white light coming in and spreading out to all the different colors, that's what we have to do as the church. And then he continues on with the purpose for why we're doing this. It is that we would no longer have prolonged infancies among us. That God wants us to grow up, to know the whole truth and tell it in love, like Christ in everything. We take our lead from Christ. See, he's the one leading us on the path, who is the source of everything we do. He keeps us in step with each other. He keeps us together, gathered. He's maybe offering us some Twizzlers. I don't know. His very breath and blood flow through us, nourishing us so that we will grow up healthy in God, robust in love. It is God through us, God working in us, in these roles that he has equipped us with. And it's more than just, I'm good at organizational things or I'm good at leading music. It's more than just those personal gifts. It's a way of who we present ourselves and we see the world as a whole, the base of how we see ministry going. This is so important. So today or tonight or whenever your group is, that's what we're looking at right now in our group. And then we'll look at that in the weeks ahead too. But ultimately, this is for us to grow up healthy in God. It's for us to be the church. So enjoy your discussions tonight. We look forward to hearing about that at our gathering in a month, and we'll see you in the future. Take care.